Welcome to Today I Work On, and welcome to how I install a Panasonic Whisperchoice fan. I love these Panasonic fans. This is actually, the model number is RG-C811A. It's a Home Depot jam. Usually I buy them online, but Home Depot has been selling Panasonic fans for a while, so I figured I'll do a video on the Home Depot setup. So we have a very unique looking fan here, and it's super loud. You hear that? And it's not sucking anything, which is very bad for a bathroom. So let's rip this out and see what we got going on in this unique house. I have no idea what's going to be in this situation, so hopefully it's complicated so you can learn something. Let's open the box. Let's see what we have. We have a bracket, which is normal, but so it's a new bracket, and now two hinges. Now it only has one, which actually makes it easier to install. So good on Panasonic. Secondly, this piece of cardboard, we need this. I'm going to show you why I use this in a minute. Don't throw this away. This also is supposed to go into the fan for dust protection, so you can use it afterwards, but trust me, you'll see what I'm going to do. And then we have the actual fan. They changed it a little bit, as like the holes are a little bit bigger, I guess, to get more air through the actual fan. Lastly, we have the fan itself that's now more metal, it's not black, and it's basically the same size. But what I don't have here is the 4-inch to 3-inch connection, which kind of stinks because that means I'm gonna have to go get one. I think I have one in my van. And then we have the CFM model. So we have 80 CFM or 150 CFM. Now, when we rip this out, we're gonna see if we have a 4-inch vent or a 3-inch vent. I'm 90% sure we're gonna have a 3-inch vent, so we'll have to stick with 80 CFM on this fan. If it's a 4-inch vent, we could go with the higher CFM. All right, so this is very interesting. They're really compounding these fans. So I guess this piece gets replaced, but this piece to control is actually the same because it says model number 0811, it's 80 to 110 CFM, and then the bottle is 1315, which is 130 to 150, which is the upgraded model. This is the lower grade, so we're gonna probably have to stick with 80 CFM. Even though we have a 4-inch output, the 110 might struggle a little bit. I'll see how it sounds. You can hear it when you turn the fan on. If it's really loud, because these are quiet, that means air is fighting to get through the pipe. So I'll get more into that in a minute. Let's take the fan cover off first and see what we got. We have a really old looking fan there. Now that this is off, I have 2 rules before I cut anything out. I check how much height I have in the cavity. So I will take the pry bar, and I have the whole pry bar. That means I have plenty of room to put this exhaust fan in. Sometimes it's 7.5 inches deep. Sometimes they don't fit. And then you got to return what you have and then buy something that is not as deep. So that is great. That passed the first check. The second check is I'm going to see if I have enough room to put in this retrofit fan going this way. So let me check that right now. This is a 10.5 by 10.5 square basically, but I'm going to go like so. I'm going to split the difference on here so I could get access to the nails or screws. That it's probably going to be nails since this is an original fan, so I could pry out this existing fan easier. So that's a little pro trick. I do say that in my old video that I did on the older style Panasonic fan, but since they upgrade everything, we might as well upgrade the video. So now I have my square, and now we're going to cut out this drywall. Remember I said this was going to be complicated? We have so much going on here. We have the solid 3-inch pipe here that I'm going to have to unscrew. We have a funky 2x2 with a 4. I don't know what's going on here. We'll see what's going on really in a minute. And then lastly, we have this 2x4 to the right. I mean to the left. What a mess. But nothing is easy. All right, so let's take this out. I just wanted to give you a visual on what's going on up here. First, I'm going to unscrew this right here. I don't know how, sometimes there's a few screws in this. And of course, this solid 3-inch pipe is blocking where I need to disconnect the fan. And also I have a problem Now I can't get over to the right side of this fan, which I see right there. So what? Oh man. So I need to undo this first. Let's see what happens here. Good news. This is loose. This side is attached, and I'm just gonna pry it off like that. What do we have here? We got one nail sitting here. This is basically loose. I have my Romex wire coming in from the top, which I got to take off. I'll just take some pliers, take that out. So basically the old fan is almost out. Super weird, super complicated old house. I'm glad I'm doing this video. So let me get some tools and take the rest of this old fan out. When I take out staples and wire, I like using my tin snips, and I just turn it and I try to cut it. Just like that. Okay, with no damage. Next up, I'll take the tin snip and I will remove the rest of this one nail that's sitting here. All right, that is now out. Let's take out the old fan and see what we have. All right, now we have the old fan. We're gonna open up this junction box here, which you usually get from the inside, and we will disconnect this line. You can cut it here, but I like to have as much line as possible, so I have flexibility to be flexible. Look at that, that black to black just came right off. Neutral was good. Now I'm gonna take off this Romex connector. So it's just old school style flathead screw. And just carefully pull it out. All right, old fan. Look at this thing. Done, old, good thing it's going. Back from Home Depot, I have my 4-inch to 3-inch reducer, and I bought some 4-inch flex duct. And let me start cutting this. Next up, I'm gonna crimp. This is a little crimper tool, so I'm gonna crimp this 4-inch by 3-inch duct just a little bit, so I could squeeze it into the existing 3-inch pipe. Slide it in like so. Beautiful. Now we're gonna tape it up. These exhaust fans are not for the faint at heart. They are super difficult. I mean, even a pro like me really has a hard time with these. If you want to like make a pro move, use this super sticky metal tape. It's amazing. Once you put this metal tape on, the connection doesn't go anywhere and it sticks forever. Next up, you take some 4-inch flexible duct and you stick it on like so. It should go right over this 4-inch pretty easily. Yep. So, all right, now what you also want to do is you don't want to have this piece should not be very long. It's just enough to attach, because too much duct will impede the flow of the air. So that's done. I'm going to tape this up. We're going to start finishing off the actual fan and install that. So this is the hardest part. Now it's going to get easier. All right, that is overkill. That's done. All right, let's move on to the actual fan. To make your life simple, when you put in this bracket, make sure it's completely not expanded or contracted. Secondly, make sure you know that it's up. You can see there's an up right here. Thirdly, you're going to stick it in, not this way towards the joist of the rafter. You want to stick it in towards where there's no rafter or joist. Up, let's stick it in this way, and then expand it out, and then bam. We are in pretty good shape. Now we're going to expand it out. It's a little tight, so you're going to have to push it a little bit. I'm going to bring it over here. I have this funky piece of wood in the way, so most likely you're not going to run into the situation. Unfortunately, I will. So I might have to cut out a little bit of this drywall by like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. But next up, we're going to screw in the bracket, and I will show you that right now. Right there, the screws, 2 screws here, and then, can you see them? There's 2 screws there. So I'm going to screw that in. You can see what's in the way right there. I got this 2x4 going across. I don't know why, but it's making it a little bit difficult here. Now, you just have to massage things out. You just have to work with it. So I'm going to screw this all in, push it over as far as possible, and then see if I have to adjust. And worst case scenario, I might have to touch up some drywall here. That's not in every case, but I wanted to make sure I did this video on a super complicated fan so you could get every single like point of view. So let me see what happens. Let's screw in the bracket. make sure you have good leverage on this, and make sure the bracket is hitting the top of the drywall, because it is. There's two, and then. Now, in my previous video, I said you could lay the bracket on top if you have like a ton of insulation in the way and you can't get to the screws. In this situation, I could actually get to the screws, so I am going to screw it in, because why not? Two. As you can see right here, there's, if you watch my previous video, there's a little clippy thing. This just comes off like so, right here. And then there's one screw that pops off. That's still the same. They have not changed that. And then what happens is we slide it off like this. Done. This does look a little different though than the fan from a year and a half ago. So they did upgrade the fan a little bit here, there, and everywhere. Next up, I'm going to take this piece off. That's the box to do the electrical connections. So let's do that. So we'll pop it off. And then that's all we have. Now, I had a comment that like, let's go over the electric on this. Let's go over the electric if you're not sure. We have your ground to ground. That's usually just a bare copper wire to the green. You have the white neutral right here. So white to white, neutral to neutral. And then you have your hot, which is your line. This is black to black. So electric comes in through the black, comes out through the neutral. Now that's all done, I'm going to pop off this little Romex connection, and I'm going to probably take the old Romex connector, put it on here, and then we will install this wire like so. And I think we should have plenty of room to work. So let's do that now. Let's pop this little bad boy off. Just twist it back and forth with a flathead screwdriver. I try to get under it like here, and I pick it up a little bit more to create some space, and just wiggle, 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 and then boom. Comes right off. Now that's done, I'm going to put the Romex connector on. This makes it a little bit easier to do, putting it on the actual line first. And make sure your power's off, obviously, so you don't get a little jolt of electric. And then what you want to do here is you're going to just screw on the Romex nice and tightly. Not too tightly, just tight enough where the Romex connector doesn't get silly. Move around. You don't want it to move around. That's the goal of this. So it's there to keep it in place and keep it home. And then inspect your electrical to see if you have any like cuts in your copper. Like this one broke off because it was weak, so I'm going to cut this back and get like a fresh new piece of copper to put a wire nut on. Let's make this fresh and new. That's done. Next up, let's stick the Romex connector into the hole like so. Bend the lines a little bit. Run the Romex, the actual connector, and then just screw on tightly. That is officially done now. We're going to connect the lines. So what we do is we strip the wires. This is 14 gauge, so make sure use 14. Strip them nice, probably like a good ½ inch. Make sure it's clean, make sure there's no nicks. And then you're going to go copper to green, white to white, and then make sure you pull on each wire to make sure nothing's going anywhere. These are not going anywhere, and then we'll go back black to black. Just tuck everything in like so. Nothing crazy. Don't bend them too much. And then let's put the cover back on. Done. Screw it up. Done. Now, that's done. We have to stick this in like so and just check it out. Feel it out, see how it feels. It feels perfect. Very nice. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up. Remember, you wanna come on only 3 or 4 inches. You don't wanna have like a huge hose here. We're gonna hook up this flexible duct to this 4-inch solid piece of metal. Don't use duct tape. Duct tape just doesn't really stick very well in like high heat areas like this. So you want this to stick forever. I mean, you could also use a clamp if you want. That's way better. You just wrap it around. I mean, this is real world remodeling. Like, there's no perfect situation. Like, you see these videos and they like just install in like a perfect environment and everything's great. And I honestly, when I watch videos like that, I feel like that's not helping the viewer. So you need to run into like super complicated issues so you could see what you need to do to get out of a jam, kind of a deal. So this one's some pretty jammy. So this is done. Nice and solid. Give it a good tug. Once that metal tape sticks, it is never going anywhere. Next up, let's stick it in like so. This feels perfect. I love it. Next up, we're gonna put the fan in and have the screw ready. We have all that work for the finale, which is actually installing the fan. So I'm gonna have a screw gun in between my legs if you're a single person like me with no helper doing it solo. And then you have these little notches here. That's gonna go into the little notches on the back of the fan. It's a really genius system. And then what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna slide in like so. So just like that. And that's it. Now I have the one screw. I have my, if you want to make life easy, stick the self-tapping screw in the drywall. You're gonna screw. And then I have the self-tappers just hanging out. And same thing, just ready to go. And what's really nice is on this one, I'm going to show you how it self-taps into the bracket, since I have to do a little bit of drywall repair. So we have 4 screws, put them four of them in. And you can see how well they grab. Lastly, we got this little tiny screw here that's going to go in right here like so, and that will hold up the other side of the fan. That's done. This is a super easy process. The last piece, you have these 2 little brackets here that hold the metal clippy things, and you just slide in like so, do one side, and then do the other side, and then bam. All right, so watch what happens when I put this piece of paper up. That's how you know you're getting a suck, if you have a piece of paper and it's not going anywhere. The old fan did not do that. It was completely dead. Let's shut it off and see what happens. So that's a wrap on this video. This is how I install a Panasonic Whisperchoice RG-C811 fan from Home Depot. So if you like this video, please like it. If you like these home improvement videos, please subscribe. I do have an older Panasonic video that's almost 2 years old, and I feel like I needed to update it because we have a new Panasonic fan to install. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.